Hi, so let's study this very important program. Throughout the discussion, please follow this mouse pointer. So this is the question. Write a complete C program to simulate the four function calculator. The functions are plus, minus, multiply, divide and Q to quit. The program must be menu driven. First of all, what is the meaning of the word simulate? Simulate means copy. Simulate means make it work like. So what we are supposed to do over here is we are supposed to write a program which will work like a calculator which is performing four functions. And those four functions are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and one more Q to quit the program. Then this question also says that this program must be menu driven. Now this will be the first time you will be doing a menu driven program. So to understand this program better, let me show you the output of this program. If you understand the output, you will find the program simple. So this is the same program. I have opened it in a software called Code Runner. And now what I will do is I will just run this program. So I click on run over here. Okay. Now the program is running. Now this is where you see the output of the program. Okay. And moreover, apart from the output, also look over here towards the bottom left of the screen. You will see that a program is running. Okay. Anyway, so now I go to this output on the right hand side. So it will display a menu, and in the menu it will display several options: plus, minus, multiply, divide, Q to quit. Now I will press plus over here. So can you take a guess what you'll be seeing now? I hit the enter key. It says enter two numbers. So I'll type something like 2.1 space 4.5. Now when I hit the enter key, you will see this. So you see sum of two numbers is 6.6 and you will see additional zeros because of the %f, which you know. Anyway, and after that, if you pay attention, you will see the same menu once again. Please see that the program did not terminate. Look at the bottom left of the screen, the program is still running. Now I enter my choice again. Let's say this time I give the choice asterisk, that means multiplication. And I hit the enter key. So come on, now I think you can take a guess. So it will display this. I will type something like 2.5 space 4.0 and you know the answer will be this. And once again you see the menu is displayed for the third time. Now what will happen is this menu will be displayed again and again and again as long as I do not press Q. So I can press Q in uppercase or I can also press Q in lowercase. Our program will allow that. Now when I hit the enter key, before I hit the enter key, again look at the bottom left of the screen, the program is running. Now I will hit the enter key over here, and when I hit the enter key over here, please look carefully over here, it says run completed. That means now the program has terminated. So this is how a menu driven program works. Now before we go to the program again, what I suggest is that you pause this video and quickly copy this much menu in your rough work so that when we discuss the program, you will find it easier to understand. So pause the video and quickly copy this much, whatever I have highlighted. Okay, now let's go to the program. The program is big but very simple. Now let me also remind you, this is a program in the chapter of functions. So you will see everything, all the syntax related to functions over here. So let's start with the program. We start with hash include stdio.h, and below that what you see in, by the way, if you see carefully, I have displayed almost the entire program in front of you. Few statements are remaining which I'll put later on. So now I'll explain you how the logic flows over here. So below hash include stdio.h, you see four statements in green color over here. I'm sure you know what these green statements are. They are called function prototypes. So let me explain you only one and the remaining three are similar. So there will be a function called addition which will take two floating point numbers a and b and it will not return anything. That is why the return type is void. Why it will not return anything? That you will automatically understand when you see the function definition, the blue color. Okay, now the execution of the program starts from void main. Within the main, we have a character variable choice and two floating point variables a and b. Now, after this, after float a comma b semicolon, we go over here to the do while loop. So when you actually write this program in your exam, the do while loop will start below this float statement. Okay. Okay. So everything you see from here, follow the mouse pointer. Everything you see from here till here is a part of the do while loop, and this brace is the end of the void main. Now, although the program is big, I said it is simple. So look carefully. All these printfs which you see over here, these printfs, they will basically display the menu. So they will display menu, plus addition, minus subtraction. It corresponds to the output. If you have written the output, you will find it easy. After the menu, this printf will display enter your choice. Now don't forget the choice will be something like plus, minus, multiply, divide, which is a single character. That is why in the scanf I have written %c ampersand choice. Choice is a character variable. Don't wonder right now why I am leaving this space. That we'll see later on. Now once the user has entered his choice, now we will ask the user to enter two numbers, and we will store the two numbers in a and b. A and b are of data type float. That's why we wrote %f over here. Now after that we start with a switch and we write choice over here. Now just ask yourself what all values choice can take. So choice can take plus, minus, multiply, divide and q. So accordingly we have these cases, case plus, case minus and so on. Please note that we have put the symbol inside a single quote because they are all single characters. Okay, so now I had told you to copy the output. So remember, the first time we had entered a plus symbol. So that means choice will be equal to plus. If choice is equal to plus, the compiler will execute the statements within the case plus. So now the compiler will come over here to the red color. Come on, can you tell me what is this red color called? It is called function call. Now remember what I always used to tell you. Whenever the compiler comes across the function call, the compiler will jump to the function. So when the compiler comes here, after coming here, it will not immediately go to the break statement. No, it will go to the function addition. And this function addition we should write after the main, after this brace. So right now, I am writing this function addition over here, but in your exam, you will write it below the main. So I write function addition here. Okay, so let me again just tell you what the flow of logic over here will be. The compiler starts with void main, it executes these two statements. Then it starts with the do while loop, it comes this way, this way, this way, down, 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 and it reaches this statement. And from here, the compiler jumps and comes over here, and it carries with itself the values of A and B. So let's say A is 2.1 and B is 4.5, 2.1, 4.5. So within function addition, there is a very simple printf which will display sum of two numbers is %f, and what corresponds to %f is a plus b. So the compiler will display the value of a plus b, which in our case will be 6.6, 2.1 plus 4.5. Now see carefully, the function addition does not return anything. That is why the return type is void. Okay, so after the printf, this is the closing brace of addition, which means function addition terminates. So now the compiler goes back to that place from where it had come. So from here, it will go over here to the end of this semicolon. Okay. Now when the compiler comes back over here, the break statement executes. Now what the break statement will do is it will terminate the switch. So now the switch terminates, which means from here, look carefully, from here, the compiler jumps and comes out of the switch. That means at this brace here. This is the closing brace of the switch. And from here, this is the closing brace of the while loop. Okay. Now, before we take this condition of the do while loop, just tell me what is the value of choice? Choice is plus, right? So now the condition is checked. Is plus not equal to small q? True. Is plus not equal to capital Q? True. So true and true gives you true. Now because the condition is true, the do while loop executes again. So now where the compiler will go? So look carefully, look at the mouse pointer. From here, the compiler again goes back to this do here. Okay, so let's execute this one more time. Again, all these statements will display the menu and they will ask the user to enter your choice. Let's say this time the user types asterisk star. So choice will be asterisk star multiplication. We'll ask the user to enter two numbers. Let's say he enters 2.5 and 4.0. Now, I think it is easy for you to understand. This switch choice will now execute which case? First, second or third? The third case. That means case asterisk. Now over here, there is a function called to function multiplication. Now I have not written all the functions over here, but please remember in your exam you will write three more functions over here. So from here the compiler will jump to function multiplication, and inside function multiplication there will be a statement like this: printf product of two numbers is %f, and instead of a plus b we'll have a into b. And from function multiplication, again the compiler comes over here. Again break executes. So when break executes, the switch terminates. When switch terminates, we come back over here. Come on. This time, can you tell me how this condition will look like? Don't forget choice is star. So it will be this way. Is star not equal to small q? Is star not equal to capital Q? So this will be true and true, that is true, and again the do while loop will execute. Now this execution of do while loop will go on again and again and again and again, again and again. At one stage the user will enter Q for choice. When the user enters Q for choice, let's say the user enters small q for choice as I showed you in the output. So if the user enters small q in the choice, then the compiler will enter this case in the switch. Look carefully, this is case q. And inside case small q, I have just written break. So the compiler comes out of switch. It comes to the condition of the while, and now checking is done. Is small q not equal to small q? Think in your mind. Is small q not equal to small q? False. And false and anything is false, so the do while loop stops, the entire program is over. Our program will work with capital Q also. If the user gives capital Q, then within the switch we will enter this case capital Q. Again we have only break over here, so the compiler comes out of the switch, and over here condition is checked. Is capital Q not equal to small q? Think. It's true. Is capital Q not equal to small q? False. So true and false will give you false, and the program will stop. I mean the do while loop will stop and the program will stop. So whether the user gives small q or capital Q, it works. Okay. Now why did I leave this space empty? So let's understand this. Please listen to me carefully because some students find it difficult. Now let's say the menu is displayed and the user gives his choice Q. That Q can be small q or capital Q. Now if the user gives his choice Q, then think and tell me, should we ask the user to enter two numbers? I repeat my question. If the user gives choice a Q, then should we ask the user to enter two numbers? The answer is no, we should not. But please understand, this statement, this printf and this scanf will execute even if the user is entering small q or capital Q. So now what we'll do, we will write one if statement over here like this. Okay, read the if statement yourself, it is self-explanatory. What the if statement will do is, it will check whether choice is plus or minus or star or division. And only when choice is any one of these four options, these two statements will execute. If choice is Q, then all the conditions over here will be false and printf and scanf will not execute. So we will achieve what we always wanted. Okay. So this program is almost over. Just a few more things. Don't forget that after addition, you are supposed to write three more functions: multiplication, division, and subtraction. By the way, you will find the entire program in my app. Now also let me tell you a few things about the do while loop. Uh, in this program, please note that I am not using a while loop, I am using a do while loop. Can you think and can you tell me why are we using a do while loop? Just take a second and think. So, we are using a do while loop over here because we want to display this menu at least once. I repeat, at least once. It is quite possible that a user gives the option Q in the very first execution of the do while loop. But still, we should display the menu at least once. And remember, we had studied that whenever we want to do any work at least once, we should use a do while loop, not a while loop, because a do while loop executes at least once. Now, one more thing about using functions. Some students ask me that should we compulsorily use functions over here? Can we do this program without using the functions? So my answer is you can do the program without using the functions, but from exam point of view, it will be better if you use functions. Otherwise, some examiners may not give you full marks. So it's better to use 4 different functions for addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So that was the menu driven program for you, a very important one which you should study well for your exam. Now let's do one more program, very simple, which you almost know. So this is the second program. It reads like this: using a function, write a C program to check whether a given number is a palindrome. So now, what is a palindrome number? Very simple. A number is a palindrome if it reads same from both the sides. So a number like 1, 2, 3 is not a palindrome. A number like 1, 2, 1 is a palindrome. So now I think you know what is a palindrome. Now I can define palindrome in another way also. A palindrome is a number which is exactly same as its reverse. I repeat, a palindrome is a number which is exactly same as its reverse. And this is the definition which I will use in the logic of my program. As I told you, you already know the logic of this program, so we can go through it a little fast. So the question says that check whether a given number is a palindrome. So we start with stdio, follow the mouse pointer, and now this is the void main. Within the void main, I declare two variables, n and flag. Remember, flag stores 1 or 0, true or false. I will ask the user to enter a number which I will store in variable n, and then I will just write this. Can you give me two words for the red color? So the red color is a function call. To which function? Palindrome. What parameter we are passing? N. So what do you think this function palindrome will do? Very simple. This function palindrome will check whether n is a palindrome or not. And if n is a palindrome, it will return 1, else it will return 0. So, can you take a guess what is going to be the next statement over here? That's right. The next statement will be an if-else like this. If flag is equal to 1, it means the given number is a palindrome. Else it is 0, which means the given number is not a palindrome. So that completes the main. Now we need to write a function palindrome. So this will be the first line of the function palindrome. The function palindrome takes an integer n. And don't forget, function palindrome will return either 1 or 0. The data type of 1 and 0 is integer, so the return type over here is int. Okay. Now, what this function palindrome is supposed to do? It is supposed to check whether n is a palindrome. As I told you, n is a palindrome if it is exactly same as its reverse. For example, a number like 121. Now, why have I been telling you that you already know this program? Because don't forget, we have already done a program to find a reverse of a number. And we will use the same logic over here, and that is this logic. By the way, you will find this logic in a program of the previous chapter. Using while loop, we had done a program to find reverse of a number. So in this logic, what will happen is the variable reverse is initially 0 and there is a temporary variable. We give the original n to this temporary variable, and then this while loop, somehow it will find the reverse. When the while loop ends, the reverse is stored in variable reverse, RAV. And I hope you remember why we are using the temporary variable. We are using the temporary variable because when the while loop ends, n, the original n, is equal to 0. Okay, now a simple question. If n is equal to 123, what is the final value of reverse? 321. If n is equal to 121, what is the final value of reverse? 121. So now take a guess, what are we going to write here? We will write if reverse is equal to 10, that means the given number, the original number was a palindrome, so return 1, else return 0. That's it. So that was the program to check whether a given number is a palindrome. Also, if you see carefully over here, you will realize something is missing in the program. Can you tell me which color? That's right, the green color. That means the function prototype. The function prototype is missing because we have written the function definition before the function call. We have written the blue color before the red color. But if you still have a doubt in your exam whether you should write the function prototype or not, you better write it, and you will always write it below #include stdio.h. So these were the two programs. Study them well. Okay, bye.